The Young Dolph, Makedas Bakery, Soulja Boy, Empire Records, all those. What do they have in connection? Well, let's see. Well, Soulja Boy first is best friends with the owner of Empire, who Dolph was trying to go 50-50 with, but Empire denied that. And then Dolph probably didn't want to go with them no more, and Empire got salty. So when Soulja Boy, Young Dolph, and Key Glock all started beefing, Dolph and Key Glock versus Soulja Boy, it got to a point where they were all, saying that they're gonna catch each other in the streets, making threats at each other. It got to that point. So at that point, Soulja, who's best friends with Empire, who works with Dolph, could have reached out to the owner and asked him to tell Dolph to back down on this beef. But when Soulja Boy found out that the label owner, Empire and all that, and Dolph weren't cool no more, that could have encouraged Soulja Boy to call the hit. Because he's like, well, damn, y'all beefing too? Like, well, shit, then fuck that nigga, And so it could have encouraged Soulja Boy to call the hit, and Empire would benefit because they would get to keep all of Dolph's music they already had. And when a rapper dies, all of the streams increase a lot. They increase like 100% more. Now, Soulja Boy had a show in Memphis coming up. Around that time, he could have been trying to get Dolph before that show started. So if he could have called that hit, and everybody knows that it's $1 million on the head of Dolph. That's a rumor that came out at that point. It was a rumor in the streets, and that came out as bigger news in the streets once it was around that time that shooting happened. But before the shooting happened, it was rumored there was $1 million on Dolph's head. So Soulja Boy could have been trying to get Dolph through one of the local scrappers, before that show started, because he knows that if he comes to Memphis, they gonna get him. Okay? So Dolph had $1 million on his head at that point. Soulja could have easily paid the local Memphis ops who were starving, waiting for a lick. Some youngins that just don't give a fuck, and they trying to prove themselves as tough street guys. So they don't care, why this so-and-so got a hit on them. They just go ahead and do it, get the bread, and get back to the way they live their life, trying to prove themselves as tough street guys, So the Empire owner could have started a snowball effect by not going 50-50 with Dolph. And then, the negativity from there could have started a snowball effect. And because of all the existing beefs, the beef with Soulja Boy, beef with CMG, beef with Yo Gotti, all that, no one would know if it was a setup from the music industry trying to make sure that Dolph doesn't make it on his own. Okay? So now the connection with Makedas, that the cookie place, is that it's a known place that Dolph frequently visits. So they could have been incentivized by money by either Soulja Boy, Empire, the local shooters, the local guys, the scrappers that was already out there. They could have been told that, hey, the next time you see Dolph, post that shit. Go live, send it to us, and we'll give you money. So they could have did that by, if Dolph pulls up, they could have kept him outside and went live real quick, showed the sign, and they could have had that recording on a burner account like on Instagram, going live with the shooters watching it, letting them know when to pull up, where Dolph was and where everything else was positioned, who's with him and what the whole scene looked like. So when they pull up, they already know, oh, he already here, he's wearing this, aim for that, And they're trying to, they could have been trying to keep him in plain view. Remember, the father said that he pulled up right after the shooting happened. So that means he was somewhere in the outside vicinity, either in a car somewhere, or it could have been outside. He could have been pulling up, he said. And how is he pulling up right when this happens? Maybe he got told Dolph is here. He could have watched the live. He could have got sent a picture from the people that work in that store, and he could have pulled up, So it's crazy. Now, we all know Makedas, they received large donations online on GoFundMe after all this happened, and that's probably not the only money they got. They got some money under the table too. And during the interview, the daughter of the Makedas shop owner, the owner's daughter, she was acting weird, talking about how her dad was inside the store when her dad actually stated that he first was pulling up to the store right after the shooting. So they got mixed stories, and that's a red flag. That don't add up. And also, she's not being very genuine about what she was saying. She didn't say it like she meant it, the things she was trying to say. When she said that Dolph was like family, and she cut herself off before she finished that whole sentence, and she said, when anybody comes into our shop, they treat it like family. Like, why is she correcting herself? It's better to say that Dolph was like family. So why is she trying to say, cutting herself off from that, correcting herself, and switching it to when anybody comes in, they treat it like family? So they're trying to make it seem like they didn't even know Dolph that much. They're trying to cover up any involvement they may have had with Dolph when he first pulled up to the store. And, they was just disassociating themselves from Dolph and not picking a certain side, basically, by saying, that's what I get from her saying, oh, Dolph was like family. I mean, when anybody comes into our shop, they treat it like family. So from her doing that and the way that she's saying things, and it just don't feel right. There's something that felt off about the things she was saying. And it seems like they're trying to hide the fact that the dad or somebody else could have went live or sent videos of Dolph to the shooters right when Dolph pulled up, in order to let them know what he's wearing, who's all there. And also during the interview, the daughter said that her dad called her, and you can hear him saying, Dolph, stay with me, brother. Stay with me, Dolph, stay with us, stay with me, brother. And that's when she figured out that it was Dolph. And at first, they didn't know who it was that got shot. Okay? And the father, the dude with Dolph, apparently in that phone call, says that at first he had thought that Dolph shot himself or something. That doesn't even make sense. Why would he think that Dolph walked in and just shot himself, or pulled up and shot himself? Like, they're trying to play dumb, and they're saying weird things that are making it off. So and this is in public, this is on cameras, on TV interviews. So people could play this, investigators could play this back and pick on to those behaviors, the type of things that they're saying, the way their face looks. She's trying to hold back like a smile, she doesn't seem like she really cared. She was just going through kind of like basic terms, you know what I mean? And she was saying things like she didn't mean it. So it seems like they weren't really affected emotionally like how they're saying they were. And they're not affected as emotionally as the friends and family of Dolph. So that's one thing that's interesting. It happened at their place, and they're not really affected. Like, they're not showing the type of emotions that the people who actually care are showing. So they must not care as much, or they must have been somewhat involved in some wrongdoing.